ahora vamos a hablar de un tema muy importante que es la confianza.
All right then, now we're going to move on to another very important topic, which is the trust of citizens towards digital spaces, on the creation to restore trust on citizenship. It's going to be presented by members of Gradient. It's going to be on reliable data in the European environment. It's moderated by Antonio Fumero. Give it up for them. Thank you very much. To complete the European project sessions, we started today with Smart Vote, IDEO, and now we have Trusted. As you saw on the agenda, we have with us Jaime and Xavier from Gradient. They are coordinating their Trusted project, in which we are involved as ciber voluntarios. We're here to speak about some relevant aspects of this project. This is a European project. And we will be discussing something that's basically, well, I will not discuss the profile of Javi and Jaime. Jaime is in charge of data security on projects related with this on Gradient. He comes from the University of Vigo. And these are the aspects that are directly related to the Trusted project. In this project, I believe that, well, we were discussing this when we prepared the conversation. We prepared this interview last night, and essentially there are three aspects I would like to elaborate on, as we did earlier today. That's an open conversation with the audience. And from my point of view, I think there are two important things here. That's data space. The project has been going on for 1 year, if I'm not wrong. It's 36 months in total. So there's still a long way to go. So this, let me put this idea on the table. This, so we could try and explain a common person what data space is, without engineer jargon. This is something we have touched upon in some of the conversations today. We spoke about the importance of privacy, the importance of personal data directly related to our identity, and precisely we have spoken about self-sovereignty, identity, and other schemes in engineering, in technology. We should be able to provide tools as a way to make those elements on the internet how can all that be used because they are necessary. Let me focus on this right now, and then we will move on to another general issue, which is to what extent can we keep innovating without compromising those rights. How can we keep innovating and remain competitive at a geostrategical level still today without renouncing to those attributes that should be part of the fundamental rights? This is what I would like to speak about. I would like you to tell us what Trusted is about and give us some headlines. And could you please explain what data space is and what it's for? So first of all, it's a great pleasure to be here with you in this event. We are very happy to be here. And as you said, Antonio, you mentioned many things, data space and digital sovereignty and so on. What we are doing on Trusted is to try and relate all those concepts. What is a data space?
Well, a data space is just a set of infrastructures and resources that allows us to store and classify big amounts of data that would be used by companies or citizens. And with that, we can get knowledge. And that is perfect right now, because it seems that AI is doing everything. But for that data science to work, we need two things. The first one being computing capacity. We need big servers that can compute big amount of data. And then we also need, of course, data. Quality data. And that's how it all works. It all sounds ideal, right? We need data, we have data, we have the computing capacity, but then we don't have we have a problem because we have sensitive data, so we have a privacy problem. And so we have challenges if we are to materialize those data spaces. Well, we need to face those challenges and tackle those challenges. It all has to do with the citizens, with the individuals, because data spaces can be Europe's opportunity to become technologically sovereign if we are able to overcome this privacy and security problem. And so in Trusted, we are precisely doing that. We want to give privacy and security to the data spaces so that in the midterm they can become a reality and they can compete against other regions, but never at the expense of the fundamental rights of our citizens. So can it become a reality? Do you really think you can achieve that without compromising the data privacy? Because I'm working in other projects that are related to the post-quantum threat and all the transition towards the quantum safe and the quantum resistance systems. Davis here with us, he's working on advanced cryptography. Maybe you can shed some light in the lines of the Trusted project. What is the reality behind that post-quantum threat? How far or how close are we to that project? We always ask about it. Is it 2 months away? 1 week away? You dare giving us an estimate? Or to what extent that harvest now and decrypt later threat is realistic, and to what extent we are in the position to make an effective transition towards quantum-resistant systems today for our daily operations, not for critical systems, not for banks, not for nuclear plants, not for everyday citizens. The threat is real and is closer than we think. Europe has created a transition roadmap to migrate all these cryptographic systems based on classic cryptography. We know it is not resistant to the future quantum computers. And there are two milestones. 2030 is one key date, and 2035 is the other key date for critical and non-critical systems. Algorithms for post-quantum cryptography are already standardized to will protect us in the future, and some other technologies are seeking to solve this problem. The digital infrastructure that will enable citizens to be sovereign is based on protocols that run on cryptography, and they are coupled, so it's difficult to change them. So many initiatives are trying to migrate to crypto agility paradigm that needs to be easier, because we don't know what threats will lie ahead, so we need to be agile and ready to migrate. And going back to trusted, there are many technologies, or, well, let's say an array of technology about self-sovereign identity that have made it to the news in recent months. For instance, how to tell how old a person is online, so as to be able to offer them different services. For instance, in your opinion, do you think that the technology is ready for that we can offer the citizens that sovereignty they demand, that we can really make them own their services? Yeah, of course, undoubtedly. No doubt at all. There is technology that is already ready for the self-sovereign identity. It's already there. And Europe has something other regions lack. We have a regulation that can guarantee the citizens' privacy, and that is at the same time supporting technological developers. Maybe, well, you know that in March 2024, there was a new regulation for electronic identification coming from a centralized paradigm. We delegated our data to an identity provider, the four big names. But now with the new regulation that came into force in 2024, there was a paradigm shift. Now the system is more decentralized and broader. And there are new concepts, such as, for example, identity attributes. In the centralized system, digital identity was unique. We had our ID card, and it was all or nothing. I get authenticated with my ID card. I give my service providers my full identity, my father's name, my mother's name, my address, etc. It has now changed thanks to the technology. If I want to prove that I am major, if I want to access specific content on the internet, you just need to know that I am over 18. You don't need any more information about me. So this is about our rights and the GDPR requirements. What else? If I want to prove that I have a university degree or a certain skill, if I am to apply for a certain job, I can have a credential showing that I have that specific attribute. and so I can very quickly produce it if I want to show it to my college or my company. So that shows that we're ready. Maybe we need to be aware of it. We need to get rid of those identity providers and trust our technologies more. That reminds me of what we said this morning with Sarvin and Virginia, in the sense that we need to go back to the original web concept, because the technology is there for us to do many things that we're not doing for many reasons. It's about how things become the standard from a technical point of view, as Sorvin said, and Virginia was also talking about the community, how that innovation can really make it into the community and get adopted by the community, and it becomes part of the technological acquis that we should have. So from that point of view, I'd like you to, I don't know, say, you're saying that the technology is already there, but in what fields, in what industries is that technology more likely to become massive or scalable? For example, what are the use cases? Maybe for, I don't know, the health industry or any other industry? How do you see it? In your experience, because you're working on more projects, your institution works in innovation, technology, so I'd like to know the different projects that can be used. Identity was part of that paradigm shift, thanks to the new regulation Jaime was talking about. Maybe you've heard about the European digital wallet that will be used in many public administration. By the end of 2026, it will be compulsory for the government to use the wallet, but it is a requirement for the government and not the citizens. The citizens will continue to act as exactly as they do now, and the government will have to adapt to the digital wallet. It will also be compulsory for the for organizations working with big data volumes. So they will have to adapt very quickly. The Commission estimates that this early adoption will cause that by 2030, 85% of the citizens will be using the European digital wallet. So users will have like a hub with their identity ready, and it can be usable in many different services and organizations. So that would be an adoption reinforcer. I don't know how we're doing time-wise. And if I may, other industries that maybe not under this umbrella may also be affected. Self-sovereign identity data spaces, enhanced privacy technologies can be used in the third sector. This is something we are already doing with you in Trusted. Sometimes we use terms too much. We abuse the terms. Data spaces are, of course, spaces. But there are also the possibility to connect entities and services. In this case, in Trusted, we connect volunteer networks with NGOs to offer them certain services. And that has direct benefits in terms of agility. You can match volunteers with certain skills or activities. For the volunteer, this is also more agile. They can also go to a data space and find the suitable NGOs. On the other hand, behind all that, you can find vulnerable people. In NGOs and volunteers, there can be vulnerable people, so you need to protect those people. You need to protect their identity. You cannot always trust someone saying, hey, I want to volunteer for you. You need the necessary certifications. You need their record, their criminal record, and things like that. So this is what we do. Trusted. We have the technology that gives us trust without a third party, which is the important thing. So we can have some questions from the audience. Someone raised their hand.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Thank you
Por la charla y por el proyecto, obviamente es
for the talk and for the project. I want to know about other initiatives. I've been a speaker about privacy and security. My belief is that those of us concerned about privacy and security are a minority. And when you explain these things to certain people, they say, I have nothing to hide. I'm okay with my data being available everywhere. So these projects are great, but they are useless if people are not aware of the problems this can cause. If they can go to any social media and share their personal data because they think it's okay with that, something's not working. We need awareness. Do you know of any European initiative on awareness raising? Thank you. I totally agree. Sometimes reality is harsh. We don't see the real impact exposing our data has, or just clicking on accept all cookies in all apps. It's true. If something's free, then the product is you. And maybe sometimes you don't see the immediate consequences, but there are consequences. We've seen some examples with analytics and others. They can do profiling. Sadly, in Europe, we have a regulation that sets out a series of requirements. It wants to protect citizens' privacy. And European companies or companies in Europe have to really show they care about our data, because otherwise they have to pay fines. But the same should be done in other regions. Because data can cross borders, and data don't need to abide by a regulation. Regulation is for companies to be transparent in the apps they offer to the citizens. We need to be in control. As Xavier was saying, the digital wallet is all about control. We control our data, we control our identity, but I totally agree with you. Sadly, in Europe, it's been done through regulation, and I welcome it. Thank you. More? We have time for one more question. No?
O sea, me parece interesante el mensaje.
I find it interesting when you say that your message is optimistic. We're bringing these projects here because these are tangible examples of things that are already been done. I am also a partner, a member of this project, and this is something that is being done in Europe to bring this technology closer to the citizens. The technology is out there, but citizens don't know it. We have these European projects and we have the deliverables. We have an e-wallet, for instance. Is any of you using an e-wallet? Have you ever used it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people? No. I don't have one. I have a question. I didn't know. I wasn't aware that existed already. Of course, we'd like to have that kind of identity that can prove before a police woman or a man that you have a driving license, but not anything else, not anymore. And if you have this e-wallet, any European police agent can see it. So if I go to Italy, police agent there will be able to see that I do have a driving license and nothing else, right? So that's great. Can we use it now? I wasn't aware of it. So my next question is how can I get it? It will be available at the end by the end of 2026. By the end of 2026, you will be able to get one. It will be available in the 27, well, in other member states. And then in 2027, it will be compulsory for organizations and companies. The same goes for the electronic ID card. Who's using it? Hey, it's quite a few people. Tengo el micro. Do we have time for the question? Okay, 1 minute. He's already holding the mic.
Okay. Grumble-Disky
Okay.
in Berlin. A quick question to you. How much are you confident that this could replace us putting the private data in the hands of private companies? That, basically that also the private companies will be asked to use an objective, verifiable information as the one that you talked about, these wallets, these digital wallets. So that I cannot basically link to Facebook or whatever platform without proving my identity through one of those depositories certified at national level. Do you see this happening soon, ever, never in Europe?
I think it will be progressive, and I think it has the potential to really be this hub of identity for the users and provide the actual values that they need. But if it's not communicated properly, not. But I really think because of there were a lot of initiatives around this UDI wallet. There were done some large-scale pilots so this solution is not created just for the sake of creating technology. It's actually been piloted for many use cases with hundreds of people. So it has taken all these stakeholders into account, and we hope that it really will be something used in Europe and maybe in other regions as well.
Soon.
Yeah, soon.
Soon?
I think so.
Soon. We have consensus. So thank you. I think that it's important to have this positive message and to highlight the answer to your question that is showing that we need a lot of dissemination activity, and we need a lot of pedagogy with this kind of technologies. And I think that's a point that is pretty common in all the sessions today, that we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of power that we can reclaim back to the people, reclaim back to the citizenship, and we have to do it. We are here to do it. And the next session is precisely on that topic, on how can we how can we define, all of us together, how can we define this digital citizen digital sovereignty as a concept that can be leveraged and articulated as a society, not as a conceptual entity, and that's it. And that's the point that you were highlighting, and I think so. And that's important, so to have these things get into the citizenship. So thank you very much.